This is a 2012 Corvette Grand Sport 4LT, and it's also built by Lingenfelter, which makes it one of the best optioned and coolest C6 Corvettes I've ever seen. And here's why. Wait. Before we even get into the Lingenfelterness of it all, it's important to note that the underpinnings of this car are still amazing. This started life, as I said, as a 2012 Grand Sport 4LT, which means it got the LS3 6.2 liter V8, the 6L80 6-speed automatic transmission. This one has a torch red exterior, black power top, and because it's a Grand Sport, it got some goodies over the base model Corvette. First of all, it's wider than the base Corvette. It has stiffer springs, it has larger brakes, it has some Z06 styling, it has a cool carbon fiber splitter on the front and some vents on the side, which makes it look way cooler than the base Corvette did. Also, the 4LT package means that you get leather seats with two-tone. This one has suede inserts on the inside of them, and Grand Sport and the headrest. It also means that these seats are heated and they also have memory functions. And in my opinion, one of the coolest things about these Vettes is that it has a heads-up display with a bunch of different modes that you can scroll through to change what it's showing you, the brightness, how high it is. So A, you feel like a fighter pilot looking through your visor with all that awesome information, and B, it means you don't have to take your eyes off the road when you're looking at the speedo doing 150 miles an hour, which I'm by no means condoning. Do the speed limit, I'm just saying that you can do that. But the goodies don't end there. Au contraire, because on my key here, I have these buttons. One says on and one says off, and this is for the dual valved exhaust. So I can make it loud or I can make it quiet depending on how much I want to annoy my neighbors. I think I'm going to leave it in loud mode because it's much cooler. Now, let's begin to get into the Lingenfelterness of it all. First off, this has a Magnuson Supercharger on it, installed by Lingenfelter. But they didn't just slap a supercharger on top of a factory LS3 engine. No. That would be wrong. This also has a slew of internal engine options that I have a list of right here so I can remember them. I'm not going to read all of them, but there's a picture of this on our website if you want to know the specifications of this engine. And I'm also going to put the top up because it's hot outside today. Let's see, this includes the engine removal, disassembly, and inspection, ported cylinder heads, a valve job, compression testing, forged coated aluminum pistons, forged billet steel I-beam connecting rods, computer balanced crankshaft and rotating assembly, total seal file fit rings, heavy duty rod and main bearings, head gaskets, head bolts, GT9 supercharger camshaft, TVS2300 intercooled supercharger system, black powder coated finish, fuel system upgrades and properly sized fuel injectors, 160-degree thermostat, ported and polished LS3 throttle body, Lingenfelter high flow air intake, Lingenfelter C6 Corvette SV4 supercharger hood, which is paint matched professionally to match the rest of the car, which looks awesome by the way. Professional engine installation, testing and tuning, of course. We do have a dyno graph for this car. This makes in the high 500s for horsepower at the wheels. That's also on our website, www.fastlanecars.com, if you want to see a full photo set of this car and some of the documents that we have for it. The original owner of this car is the one that commissioned Lingenfelter to build it for him. So he bought a Grand Sport 4LT, which is a great packaged car, like I said, gave it to Lingenfelter and said, make it extremely fast. This makes 670 horsepower at the crank, which is plenty, and that's more than the ZR1 from those years. And right now it's sitting at 8,160 miles, which isn't very many. And I'm going to take it for a quick spin and see what that's like. Now, as I said, we have a slew of documents for this car, a lot of them from Lingenfelter. We have the certificate of authenticity from Lingenfelter. We have letters from Lingenfelter thanking the owner for choosing them to build his car. We have again the build sheets, list of parts, invoices from them. So we have an awesome paper trail for this car. And in 13 years, it's only done 8,000 miles. which again isn't very many. This was very well maintained. We have great oil pressure, temp is staying cool, battery's charging. I only have a quarter tank of gas, which this thing wasn't built for fuel economy, although it did say in the Lingenfelter paperwork that I found that fuel economy wasn't adversely affected. I don't know if I believe that totally, but that's what they said. So there is still hope that this thing gets decent fuel economy. Oh goodness. Yeah, like I said, I'm keeping it in loud mode because why wouldn't you? Goodness, that makes a noise. Now, from the driver's seat of this, you get a pretty cool cockpit in this car. From where I'm sitting, you have the steering wheel like you would normally get in a C6. It's got buttons all over it for calling, volume on your radio, scrolling through settings and all of that. It does have these little paddle shifters. They're not like normal paddles where the one on the left is downshift and the one on the right is upshift. You push forward for upshift and pull back for downshift, which is kind of weird actually. On the highway here, I'm going to turn off the valved exhaust. There we go. We're going to put it in quiet mode. That reduced the drone a lot actually. This is now a very easy and quiet streetable car, which I like. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You have buttons on the right side of the wheel. You can scroll through different fuel economy settings, options, trip meters, stuff like that. And then on the left side of the wheel is all of the buttons for adjusting your heads-up display. You can move it up and down, make it brighter, change the mode that it's in so it looks at different gauges. Pretty cool. The factory heads-up display, which is outdated in my opinion anyway, was replaced by a Sony head unit, which is awesome. And not only that, but the factory buttons for the volume and stuff on your steering wheel still controls it, which is cool. I don't know how they programmed that, but it still works. And plus you have a much better heads-up display in my opinion. You have this carbon fiber weave design all on the center console, which is very cool. You have a Lingenfelter badge right above your Sony heads-up display, which is awesome. And then just your factory AC controls and heated seat buttons right below that. Here is your 6-speed automatic shifter. Not the most exciting thing in the world. Obviously this would be cool with the manual transmission, but the 6L80 over its predecessor, the 4L series of transmissions, were pretty stout and are actually pretty nice transmissions, so I don't have any gripes with that at all. Other than that, the interior also has the 4LT package like I mentioned, so the seats are leather and have the suede inserts. They're extremely comfortable. We have memory seats over here on the door. We have a Bose sound system because Corvettes always have a Bose sound system, which I always thought was cool. We also have Grand Sport back here in the headrests. And in the mirror, we have calling, OnStar, and an emergency button. So if you get in an accident or something, it'll call the emergency services for you, which with 670 horsepower, you need to know what you're doing or else you might need those emergency services. So I'm going to take it easy because again, it's not my car and I want to bring it back in one piece. And the next owner needs to experience this. This is one of the coolest cars we've ever had, in my opinion. The C6 Corvette is one of my favorite generations, and when you get the Grand Sport package, it looks like a Z06, but you still get a convertible, and now you have the Lingenfelter kit with the supercharger and everything that makes it extremely fast. Faster than the ZR1 from the same generation, which you can't really complain about that. Plus, with the top up and the windows rolled up and the exhaust in quiet mode, it's extremely streetable. It's comfortable, it's quiet, the AC is amazing, it's kicking hard, which I need today because it's about 103 degrees right now in Missouri. This AC is working fantastic. In the paperwork that I mentioned earlier, we also have the service instructions because this is a Lingenfelter, so we have Lingenfelter service instructions for the supercharger. We also have the installation manual for the Magnuson Supercharger. In case you want an easy read on a cold winter's night, you can open up your Magnuson Supercharger installation manual and just look that over. But because this is still just a Corvette underneath, it's pretty simple to service and easy. Just change the oil every once in a while and you'll be fine. Oh, even in quiet mode, when you hit a certain RPM, this thing wakes up. I wonder if that exhaust opens at a certain RPM because it was quiet at first, and the more I put my foot in it, it got a bit louder. And I'm gonna let you guys hear it from the outside now, because right now where I'm pulling into our normal flyby spot, as you've noticed, I'm not with Chris today, I'm by myself. He's an extremely busy man, and so I'm trying to catch up on some videos without him, which is fine. I'm not going to complain about driving a Lingenfelter, even if it's by myself, but I'm going to set my camera up on the tripod over here by the road and see if I can't get some awesome flyby noises of this vehicle in action. I think I'm going to put the exhaust in loud mode too, because why wouldn't you? I'm back from the flybys, and I'm going to start heading back toward Fastlane because my cameras are beginning to struggle with the heat, and I don't blame them because, again, it's over 100 here in Missouri, and camera equipment doesn't like hot weather apparently. So, but I hope you guys liked the noise from the outside of the car. Sorry, I could only hear it from the inside, but it's not like it was quiet in here with the valved exhaust open. You can't really miss it, but from the outside, I'm sure it sounded extremely rowdy. But I also like that even though you have all of this horsepower, it's still refined on the inside. You can close the exhaust, you have comfortable seats, you have great working air conditioning, you got nice leather buckets. It's really nice. And I also like that the gentleman who bought this new didn't get a base model C6 Corvette and give it the Lingenfelter and say give it gobs of power. He was smart and he got a Grand Sport, which means you got the wider wheels and the better tires and the wider body and bigger brakes, which means with all of this power you can still stop the thing and the car handles fantastic, which I noticed when I was stopping for my flybys and doing my U-turns. The improved handling really is great. I've driven factory base model C6 cars, and they're fantastic vehicles. The LS3 is one of the best engines ever made in my opinion. The manuals and the automatics are great, and they still handle fantastic even if you get a base model. But the upgrades are nice when you have 670 brake horsepower underneath your right foot. And because you now have 6 speeds instead of 4 like the older Corvettes and Camaros, even with the exhaust open and in loud mode, if you're not putting your foot in it, it honestly doesn't drone that bad. But when you do put your foot in it, you can hear it, which I love. You have one of the best sounding V8s ever and a supercharger hooked to it, so why wouldn't you want to listen to it all the time? I did mention we have an updated Sony head unit earlier, and I could have the radio on right now, but A, I don't want to get copyright struck for this video, and B, why would I want to listen to the radio or any music when I could just listen to a super loud and awesome V8 the whole time? The other nice thing about having all of this power is that you don't need to use absolutely all of it to make the car go fast and to have fun. You have 670 horsepower, so it's fast at half throttle, which means you don't have to scare the crap out of yourself to merge on the highway. You can just roll into it. And there's 60 miles an hour. And that was, again, like 30% throttle. Not very much at all. But if you need to pass someone in the fast lane, you can roll into it and get by them with relative ease, I would say. A lot faster than trying to pass someone in my 2005 Toyota Camry, I will admit. But my 2005 Toyota Camry does get better gas mileage. I left with 1/4 of a tank. I now have quite a bit less than 1/4 of a tank, and I've only done 9 miles. Now, I have been trying to listen to the awesome exhaust, so if you keep your foot out of it, you probably do better than that. But who cares about gas mileage when you have one of the coolest cars ever? And you can make it quiet, like that. And you can make it loud again, if you want to be a nuisance to society, which I do. You know, and with the stiffer suspension you get with the Grand Sport, the ride is actually still pretty good. You don't have selective ride in this one, you do have traction control, but I thought kind of beat me up once I read that I had stiffer springs, but it really doesn't. It's still pretty comfortable. You just also get the better handling along with it. And the supercharger, which you can never go wrong with the supercharger. And just like that, we're back to fast lane with minimal miles put on this vehicle. And I'm gonna park it inside because again, it's extremely hot. Oh, we have a backup camera now. I don't remember if the C6s normally had a backup camera, but our Sony head unit does. I didn't notice that. Another cool upgrade. Well, this has been an absolute treat. This car is awesome, and it's basically brand new, so this can be enjoyed for years and years and years as long as it's maintained properly. Also, I'm sorry, Chris, that you weren't included in this one, but you're very busy, I understand. Maybe I'll let you drive the next supercharged Lingenfelter C6 that we get, even though this is one of the only ones I've seen. But this is Fast Lane Classic Cars in St. Charles, Missouri, 15 minutes outside St. Louis to the west. If you want to visit our website and see all the photos and documents for this car, go to www.fastlanecars.com. If you want to call us up and talk to one of our awesome salesmen, call 636-940-9969. Any one of our salesmen would be happy to give you any information about this car or any of our other ones on our website. And I think it's time to end this one. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.